friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Yvonne and you are on Ginger Chick Rehab, where I love to take secondhand finds and give them new life. So in today's video, it is a trash to treasure. Yes, these were items that normally get overlooked anywhere. They get overlooked at thrift stores, auctions, everywhere I go. And there's just something about these cheese boxes that just has my heart. So I'm going to share 3 ideas with you all of what to do with a aged cheese box. This one actually is just the lid. This was a random lid that came in something I got, but it's wood, y'all. It's just beautiful patinaed wood. I don't know what the fuzzy is, but there's just something about how they put this together that just has my heart. I think you could use either side if you wanted to. Both are just as beautiful, but we have to figure out what to do with this fuzzy. And the only thing I can think of is just to take a sander and sand it off. And luckily it did sand off. That wood is just a little bit too new for me, but I have this beautiful decoupage paper that has that aged look to it. So I'm just trying to decide, make that decision of what I think looks the better. And I think I'm gearing towards the black because I think the black pops just a little bit more for what I envision. Nice when you get these 2 panels that you can split in half and have 2 project pieces. So all I'm going to do is just set the top on there and just kind of eyeball where I want the most of it to be on this little cheese top. And I'm just going to do a pencil line so I know where to cut, but I couldn't really see the pencil line on the top of it, so I ended up flipping the paper over and then tracing it. Hopefully I was going to be cutting the same. I didn't want to use a Sharpie in fear that I wouldn't cut quite right, but I did manage it. So now to attach it to it, I'm just going to use some Mod Podge, a sprayer. I've got a crinkled up saran wrap and a paintbrush. So that is how I'm going to apply it. So I know it pretty much got pretty close to the size. It may just be a little bit off. I'll just try not to go up on the sides with the Mod Podge to glue it down. Dusting it lightly with water and then using the rolled up saran wrap really helps get the wrinkles out and gets it attached. Set it off to the side and I let it completely dry before doing this part. I just put a new blade in my X-Acto knife. Anybody else scared? You know, as a hairdresser of 31 years, I was always scared when I had to get new scissors. That's probably why I always wait so long to change out my blades on things. But yes, I need to just trim off that little outer edge that is going up on the sides. I want to make this a wall hanging, so I'm going to go ahead and drill 2 holes to be able to put a wire on this to make a hanging system. Using some black wire, that way it looks appropriate, and all I'm doing is just left a little bit on the back so there's just something to hang it on. And now I'm going to take the end and start twisting the wire up into just a curly Q, and then I'll push it close to where I drilled in there and it will be good and secure. And I'm going to take some 220 sandpaper and just run it over the decoupage paper. It's dry. I really don't ever try to get all the wrinkles out because I like that aged look of it all when you can distress it. So that's all I'm doing. Anything that with kind of a little bit of a wrinkle, it will just take that paper off and give it that nice I've been on here for a while look. And now I want to give my paper a little bit more age using some antiquing wax and some black wax mixed together just to give it that I've been touched, I've been dirty, I've been worn with time. I'm going around the edges first and then I'll kind of just work it into the middle of the decoupage paper. Just mixing the antiquing wax in with the black just gives it that aged look just wonderfully. The paper, that cheese box lid is beautiful on its own, but I want to do more of a mixed media where I'm adding some embellishments. And I have some of these rusty metal animals, and so I was just kind of playing around and I'm like, oh, I really like that cow right there. It kind of just fills that void. I was thinking about a star, but I didn't like the star as well as I loved that cow right there. I'm going to go ahead and add some rusty stars because they have my heart always. So I'm trying to match up the patina of what rusty ones I have. And where I get most of my rusty stars is I will buy wreaths at the thrift store that have them on them. So I will buy them when a wreath has seen better days just to get the rusty stars. So I'm just going to be applying this with hot glue. I think it's not that awful heavy that it will not hold it by any means. I think it'll be perfect on this piece. Cow did have a hole in it, so I thought, oh, I'll put this little tack. But once I put the tack in there, I didn't like the tack. So I put it on, I looked at it, and then I quickly got some tools to take it off. I really like this big star, but the color's a little off. It's a little bit more of a goldy, and I would like it to be a little bit more brown. So back to antiquing wax I go just to brown it up a little bit more. Now I have this cheese box bottom, but I know the inside is a little bit less than desirable, but there's just something. There's something about, oh, the wood of these all that just gets me. So it's got some really rawness of shards of wood. So I'm just taking an X-Acto knife and cutting those off, getting that cleaned up in the inside. This is probably my favorite part of the cheese box is where they nailed it. It has that aged. It's one of those that you just dust off. You just vacuum out. You just clean to your best ability. I'm not going to wet it because I feel as if as unfinished wood, it would change that beautiful aged patina of it all. But I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to start off by drilling the holes this time in this one to do the hanging system. Oh, I just absolutely love how they put these together. I want you to be able, on this one, to be able to see the sides of where they put it together. So I was trying to figure out where it would be because I'm going to be covering up the inside. And now I'm just going to lay a ruler just so I can make sure that I'm going straight across just to drill the tools to put the wire in. Sometimes I want to see the big picture, so I wanted to put it on the wall so I could see how it hangs. And then I'm going to actually be adding I'm going to be adding some of the grain sack bag that I used from a previous project. I just envisioned a way to cover that up. It has that perfect circle. It has the perfect patina that matches the wood. Oh, do I love it. So now for this one, I'm going to go ahead and place it on the top because I want to make sure that I'm getting that complete circle. It may be off, the grain sacks may be off on one side or the other. Grain sacks stretch. They were made to be stretchy because they were filled with grain. So anyway, I'm just going to cut it to most of the shape to begin with to start off the project with. Just get that excess fabric cut off. Now to glue this, I'm just going to be using some hot glue. I think that'll be a strong enough bond to keep the fabric on this wood. So I'm going to go right, nice and tight, right into that seam with my hot glue. So I purposely didn't cut all the whole shape of the round. That way I can make sure that it was going to completely fit. So now I'm going to go back through and start cutting off that excess fabric. Okay, so now you could leave it as is, but I have so many rusty crusties that are just crying to get out of totes and be seen. So I'm just kind of trying to find some of the smaller ones that are not taken away from the wording that I can kind of sit on this as like a shelf. And the rusty crustier, the better. And look at, I just seriously, like the day before this video, thrifted that little bitty mouse. Oh my gosh, it was a God wink moment because he was crying to be in here. Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cute. And then, you know, my go-to is some pip berries. I think the pip berries just accentuate this whole piece perfectly. So I'm going to do it just like a floral arrangement where I'm going to use Florifoam, cut the pip berries up, and put a little bit of the dried grass on there just to make a nice little solid arrangement instead of just throwing a stem in there that will kind of shift back and forth and be a little bit wonky. I'm just going to make the most of what I have. Actually, I think I only ended up using one of the pip berry stems. I'm going to go ahead and start putting my little vignette together, but I am going to go ahead and hot glue these pieces on. They're going to be sold all as one piece, and that way that I don't have to worry about them falling off. And the nice thing about hot glue is if you want it off, you can get it off. So, yep, I'm just going to put a generous amount of hot glue on the bottom of this. None of this is that heavy that hot glue won't hold it. Let's keep going to my stash. I'm looking for things to make it symmetrical, and look at that little bitty spool that was all by itself, just fills in that space. Now I have this gorgeous one. This is a little bit larger than the other one, but that patina, oh, that patina and that wood, oh, those rusty nails. I love it. I guess I have a aged wood problem. I said earlier, no, I am not going to wet these. I'm just going to clean them to the best of my ability, because I know with this raw wood, if I add water, it's going to change that amazing patina. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and add a shelf. No, it doesn't quite fit yet, but I was able to find in our hoard of pieces and parts some patinaed wood that matched pretty darn close, but I need the measurements for it, so going in a round object isn't always the easiest, but I do have a fabric measuring tape that I can work in here a little bit easier for me anyway. So I just need to get my measurements so I can go ahead and cut it to length. Y'all know how you get creative and you think, oh shoot, I should have added my hanging system. So now I'm going to have to drill it from the back, because I put my shelf in. I could have took it out. It's not secure yet, but I didn't want to mess with it because it went in perfectly the first try. So yes, I am just going ahead and adding the same type of hanging system. It seems to be working out just fine. Hold the shelf in place to make sure that it's nice and secure. I'm just adding a couple small brad nails to it. So back to my stash I go to find some rusty crustiness that it just needs to be out and shown. It's a little worse for wear, not items that people normally will want to use, but just for decor purposes only. And what's the chances of having a piece of wood that matches this patina? So, now, yes, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to add these little pieces in and secure them with hot glue so they don't move around. I don't even really know what these strainers were used for, but it's that metal, that rusty crustiness, the grater. Oh, a nice little small little grater that's been aged. Oh, I love it. If you could coordinate rusty crustiness and wood tones with each other, is exactly what I'm doing here. And then I have this grungy candle, which is almost the same shape as the spool I added, and a nice little lighted feature. And the nice thing is I can glue the candle base in, and you can still take the candle out to replace the battery or turn it on and off. How many of you were wondering what I was going to do underneath that shelf? Yes, I have some of this baby's grass from Hobby Lobby that's been picked apart, so it'll be perfect to put in the bottom. Oh my goodness, y'all. When you get your idea out of your head into and create what your vision was, oh wow. I hope that I have inspired you all. I hope you give those dirty old cheese boxes another look. And even if you find one that is newer, you can still age it with Waverly Wax, you know, the vinegar and steel wool mixture, just something to age it. But oh, making these into some unique, one-of-a-kind wall decor just has my heart. Being able to use my rusty crusties up that are in my stash that I just can't pass up. So I hope that I have inspired you today. So let me know down in the comments below. And again, you guys, oh my gosh, I just love creating for you all. So if you are new to our channel and you love DIYs, crafts, and secondhand makeovers, treasures, and you enjoyed today's content, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know you uploaded a new video. And if you are already a member of our channel, part of the Ginger Chick family, thank you so much. And y'all, we will see you next time, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.